Still to come. We talked to the author of a report which says that online jihadist propaganda is accessed more in the UK than any other European city. Now, they're the most famous British triathletes ever. Alistair and Johnny Brownlee sealed their place in Olympic history in London 2012 when Alistair won gold and Johnny won bronze, followed by another gold in Rio 2016 for Alistair and Johnny winning silver this time. Now, whilst they spend their lives competing against each other, of course, they are still brothers first and foremost, with no better demonstration of this than the dramatic moments when Alistair helped Johnny over the finishing line at the end of the Triathlon World Series in Mexico last year. Now, Alistair is currently recuperating from hip surgery, so he's not competing for the rest of this year. Johnny, though, is due to take part in this weekend's Super League Triathlon in Jersey. Well, Johnny and Alistair can talk to us now, and it's great to see you both. I was looking out of the corner of my eye as I was reading that, talking about that dramatic moment in Mexico, and I wonder if that sometimes irritates you. There was a sort of, not a flinch on the face, but that must be what all the media asks you about now.
Yeah, I suppose so. I think it's just funny for us because you know, we've spent our lives being athletes and professional athletes, and you know, you feel like you achieved quite a lot, and I suppose you expect, I suppose, what you get asked about and what people pay attention to and, you know, get enthused by is kind of your results, and for us that wasn't a great result. You know, Johnny was trying to win the world title, so I think that does kind of confuse us a bit, but to be fair, we're probably more than used to it now.
Well, listen, we can watch it now because I have to say, I was on holiday a few weeks ago with my daughters and I was explaining to them what you'd done. They were completely perplexed by the whole thing, and I showed it to them. When I told them I was talking to you this morning, they were so excited because they thought it was lovely that brotherly love came ahead of competing, because in the heat of competing, how do you separate that?
Well, for me, at the time, I was obviously very, very confused. I can't remember what happened, but we're very, very good at competing together. We race as a team, and that involves, you know, tactically on the swim, we can help each other on the bike, you can sit behind each other and draft each other. So we do very much compete as a team first and then start racing towards the end. But maybe this time in Mexico, that was the most extreme version of team tactics you've ever seen in your life. And like I said, it's very, very strange for me to get known for that and get recognised for the person who claps down the finishing straight.
Just tell us what was going through your mind, if you would, Alistair, as you were running along.
Well, it was the last race of a long year. You know, it was a couple of months after the Olympics, and I thought, right, go to Mexico. Johnny can win the world title. Fantastic end to a fantastic year, and that would be the icing on the cake. And I run around the last corner after, you know, a race that's 2 hours long in the blistering hot Mexico heat, and think, fantastic, you know, I've just got to get around this corner, out sprint the guy I'm with. Johnny's won, I'll come second, he's world champion, absolutely fantastic. And literally on the last corner, I run round and see Johnny swaying all over the place and kind of collapsing towards someone's arms. And I know what's happened straight away. You know, I suffered from heat illness myself a few years before that, so I was like, oh no. And I think that without anything really going through my mind, I was like, I've just got to get him and get him to the finish line. So I start dragging him towards the finish line, which I don't think he's enjoying. And then probably about halfway to the finish line, so about 100 metres before, I'm like, oh, I need to get him across the line before anyone catches us, because he's still, you know, he can still get some points in the World Series, and then, you know, worrying about getting him to the doctors and stuff. So at that point, I'm looking behind, making sure we're going to get to the finish line before anyone catches us. You
look pretty fed up with your brother, to be fair, and you threw him over that line.
Yeah, well, when I first saw him, I was like, oh, what an idiot, because, you know, I knew in that heat, you know, the limit, the margins between things going right and wrong are so small, and he'd just gone that bit too far into the red and started overheating. And I just thought, if he'd just held on, you know, he had a massive lead, he could have eased off in those last few kilometres. So my first emotion in a like frustrated brother kind of way was, yeah, what an idiot. He could have done, he should have just been, you know, relaxed a bit more and got to the finish line.
I want to talk about those fine lines between success and failure, because let's face it, you guys know success, and people probably didn't know much about triathlon till you came along. Let's reflect at some of your successes. We can see Alistair winning gold and Johnny winning bronze at the London 2012 Games, and hopefully we can see those images soon. Of course, then you went on to Rio 2016, and I mean, there's always pressure, isn't there, for